In retrospect, the severity of the US sanctions against Huawei is truly alarming. Chinese netizens argue that China should not oversimplify this matter. It is, in fact, an incredibly challenging, non-military war. A striking example is Japan. When Toshiba faced a crisis, Japan entered a 30-year period of continuous decline and is now entering its 40th year, still kneeling before the United States. This stands as the most poignant example. Back when the US confronted China at its doorstep, Chinese leaders advocated for resisting the US and aiding North Korea, a time when China was extremely weak with a national GDP of only 70 billion renminbi, a per capita GDP of a meager 130 renminbi. How did China manage to win that war? China initiated a nationwide mobilization, urging citizens to donate aircraft and funds for the Korean War effort. According to official statistics, in just 1 year from 1951 to 1952, Chinese citizens donated a staggering 556.5 billion renminbi, equivalent to 3,700 MiG-15 fighter planes. One notable example is the renowned artist Madame Cheng Xiangyu, who led a theater troupe in a charity performance for half a year, raising funds to donate a MiG-15 fighter plane, which is still displayed in a historical museum today. Therefore, Huawei today is not just an individual confronting US technological hegemony. Is it worthwhile for Chinese people to support Huawei smartphones? By supporting Huawei and domestic products, China has stimulated the development of tens of thousands of businesses, effectively offsetting Western sanctions against China. Last year, China sold a total of 270 million smartphones, with Apple alone selling 54.32 million units. What about Huawei? After being sanctioned in 2019, it nearly withdrew from the high-end smartphone market, failing to make it into the top 5. Today, the Chinese Mate 60 has finally been released. Although it currently lags behind Apple due to production capacity, China finally has a smartphone of its own. Behind a 100% domestically produced smartphone is the potential to drive millions of households and the entire country's industrial upgrading. In hindsight, the West underestimated the Chinese people's optimistic attitude and pragmatic spirit in the face of crises. In the current era, China's strength and the achievements it has already made serve as a testament to the tenacity of the Chinese nation. In the challenging century marked by turmoil and poverty, China managed to break through difficulties, forging a brilliant path of rejuvenation, truly a miracle. In comparison, the US cage plan seems relatively insignificant. Perhaps what China needs to do is to proceed steadily at its own pace, delve into theoretical knowledge, reconstruct critical technologies in the semiconductor industry, and design and manufacture advanced lithography machines unique to China. This may very well be the beginning of China's journey to return to the world's peak. Patience and confidence are key. With the enthusiastic support of the entire nation, Huawei is sure to reclaim lost ground and shine brightly. Let's also contemplate deeply, why did the US impose such ruthless sanctions on Huawei, and what are the underlying reasons? Today, China will analyze the hidden malice behind the scenes, using the metaphor of peeling an onion to uncover the true motives. Layer 1, restricting the development of China's semiconductor technology, primarily targeting leading enterprises. This objective is quite straightforward. It can be bluntly stated that the semiconductor industry is the core of 21st century manufacturing. As a trailblazer, the US has increasingly recognized the industry's importance in recent years and realizes that if China aims to surpass it in technology, the semiconductor industry is one of the most convenient pathways. Based on this understanding, American society quickly formed a consensus and initiated sanctions against China's semiconductor industry. Although China's semiconductor industry started late with a low technological level and a relatively low value in the industrial chain, market forces have given rise to internationally competitive leading enterprises, such as ZTE and Huawei. The U.S. strategy behind sanctioning China's semiconductor industry is essentially a strike whoever rises to prominence approach. The introduction of 5G marked the outset of the challenges for Huawei. Leveraging its media dominance, the U.S. propagated the narrative that Huawei's 5G technology poses a threat to national security. Through diplomatic pressure, the U.S. coerced European nations to abandon Huawei's 5G communication equipment. Simultaneously, using domestic laws, the U.S. established highly targeted negative lists, invoking the vague pretext of threatening national security to impede effective collaboration between U.S. companies and Huawei. At this juncture, 5G was no longer the sole focus of the U.S. attacks. Huawei's operating system, high-end chip supply, and more became central issues, resulting in a near paralysis of Huawei's consumer business. As of today, although Huawei remains active at the forefront of China's technology industry, actively navigating against the current in support of China's semiconductor industry, it is evident that the series of blows dealt by the U.S. has gradually eroded Huawei's technological advantage. International competitors have caught up, particularly in the high-end chip domain, not limited to CPUs, where high-silicon chips have lacked international market validation in recent years, dealing a significant blow to their capabilities. Beyond the technological realm, Huawei's appeal to international talent and its reputation in the high-tech industry have witnessed a discernible decline. Prolonged struggles for survival have left Huawei in a state of stagnation, inevitably leading to a more significant crisis. For China's semiconductor industry, the U.S. strikes against Huawei will once again prolong the timeline for China's semiconductor ascent. Layer 2, decoupling supply chains, shifting manufacturing, and restraining China's industrial upgrade. In many industrial sectors, China is, in fact, playing catch-up in terms of technological application. The primary advantage of Chinese enterprises lies in the population dividend. With a substantial influx of advanced foreign enterprises investing in factories and significant post-reform investments in infrastructure such as education, transportation, network construction, and power grids, the population dividend rapidly transformed into an industrial labor dividend, a large pool of trained personnel capable of engaging in industrial production, and a talent dividend. China's talent pool also ranks among the world's leaders. During this process, China has assimilated advanced management practices, and its market economy, coupled with a unique cultural foundation, has given rise to a plethora of marketing talents, fostering a vibrant market economy. Simultaneously, China has seized the opportunity of the Internet technology revolution, becoming one of the countries to reap the most benefits from this wave of technological advancement. However, if economic development is metaphorically a barrel, China has realized that, among various factors, its mastery of technology and its contribution to the current economic situation fall below expectations, revealing a significant weakness. Layer 3. Erecting a technological iron wall to completely block China's outbound technological exploration. The three pillars supporting the United States as a superpower are technology, military, and finance. In the military and financial domains, the U.S. has temporarily established competitive barriers, meaning China would find it challenging to bridge this gap in the short term. The only area where China could pose a significant threat to the U.S. in the short term is technology. During the rapid ascent of China in the era of reform and opening up, not only did its economic volume skyrocket, but the overall technological level of China's industrial system also soared. In the initial stages of reform and opening up, mainly in the 80s and 90s, China implemented a series of institutional designs and scientific plans to catch up with the technological advancements of Western developed countries. This included the establishment of major technological equipment offices and initiatives like the 863 program. China put forward the concept of exchanging market access for technology, engaged in cross-regional scientific collaboration, and concentrated efforts on major projects. These forward-thinking plans and institutional designs dedicated to technological upgrades laid a solid foundation for China to rapidly narrow the technological gap with Western developed countries. After China's entry into the World Trade Organization, the technological gap between China and developed countries in various industrial manufacturing sectors was mostly only 1 to 2 generations behind. With the acceleration of the pace of reform and opening up, this catch-up progress accelerated post-WTO entry. Currently, concerning the technological level in industrial manufacturing, including high-end manufacturing, China's comprehensive strength should already be considered the world's leading. However, many categories with advanced processes have a low status in the industrial chain, and the technological level in key industries and key links of the industrial chain remains at a lagging level, such as the semiconductor industry. The US is evidently aware of this situation. China's vast market, a massive industrial workforce, and an engineer community have the potential to catalyze a transformation in Chinese technology. In the process of technological and academic exchange within the globalization framework, this exchange could act as a catalyst for this transformation. This is a scenario the US is extremely reluctant to witness. So, what's the solution? Erect a high wall between China and the US. Block China's opportunities to obtain nourishment for technological development from external sources as much as possible. Make it so that China can only innovate within its own walls in the high-end manufacturing sector, or at best, purchase and use high-margin products and services produced by others. Block semiconductors, hinder educational and academic exchange pathways for obtaining advanced technological knowledge, shift industrial chain enterprises, and even exert pressure on Chinese companies' overseas expansion through diplomatic means or by inciting regional conflicts. This is not mere alarmism. Everything is unfolding. The US successfully reconstructs the semiconductor industrial chain outside China and excludes China, the semiconductor industry, as the hardware foundation of the internet economy, will cause China to lose the opportunity to surpass the US in this new era.